look, we've got a song, Double Denim Ballerina, which is the one that everybody's kind of like latched onto. Because I was in like a big Bob Dylan
Great
era.
name, by the way.
Like, that's great. Everybody goes, oh, well, that's like a cool name for a song. And there's a lyric in it, I think, maybe it's true, what's in front of me is right behind you. And I think that's always like stuck with people. And that's the one that people are like, where did you get that from? And I'm like, I don't know. It's just like this, it's just this like thing that like falls at the sky. And maybe it's just luck. I don't know. Or maybe like I've accidentally sold my soul or something like that. That's where it's coming from. Like I'm at the crossroads in Irvine or something. Nah, but
Sometimes you just got the gift, man. Like, how do you do it, Drew?
Mate, I was going to say, that's so spooky you said that, Jude, because that's exactly the same thing. I think I said in an interview when someone was chatting to me, I said the words almost fall through the ether and I just create a cobweb and I just catch them.
I think I saw a thing and it was like Noel Gallagher. It said the thing, he's like songwriting's just fishing, or like poetry, whatever, like that kind of just lyricism is like fishing, and it's like if you don't catch it, like I think he said like Bono's going to catch it or Sting.
Yeah, it's going to go to someone else. Yeah.
Special guest episode.
This episode is an absolute treat. The special guest today is Jude, who is Kevin's cousin. This young man has done so much in such a short space of time. He has been acting since the age of 3 and recently started an indie band where he's the frontman, songwriter, and singer. We discuss everything from his music inspiration to his love of movies and everything in between. This man has an amazing attitude, very optimistic, and a great outlook on life. He's gonna go far. We hope you enjoy this chat.
Thanks for joining us again, guys. Today I know we have lots of special guests, but today's extra special because this is my wee cousin. And I know technically you're not actually you're like my cousin first removed because you're my cousin's wee boy. But I'd rather just call you my cousin. So this is Jude. Welcome, Jude.
Everybody.
So Jude is up in Scotland. He is the nephew of Michael, our previous guest that we've had on a few times. And Jude is a very, very cool individual. He has been in, done quite a lot of acting, been in sort of productions as well, and is now the frontman of a very, very cool band that's making waves in Glasgow right now. So yeah, do you want to give us a little introduction? Like if we go into film first, like how you first started getting into creative stuff from a young age?
Yeah, cool. So I started acting when I was 3.5. My mum met Claire, who's in like Still Game and stuff, Claire Gray Wilson at a train station in Ayr. One night coming home from work, and she was like, "Oh, my wee boy's like just like loves movies and all that stuff." And she was like, "You should just bring him along," because I was like hyper and just like any like normal actor is going to be when they're that age. And I went along to this like little class in Irvine at a place called the Harbour Arts Centre, and then just kind of kept going up and up from there, and got to a point where it was like I got an agent, KR Management, and done like a few odd roles, like auditioned for Trainspotting 2 and stuff.
No way.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah. So I had that audition and like certain ones, and then got an audition through one night. I think I was out playing like laser tag with my mates or something like that. My mum was like, came and got me and was like, "Look, you've got this audition through," and I was like, okay, and we tried to film it the night before, and I was like tired, and there was so much swearing. I was 9, and like in this script, it was like some of the words that were used were like, oof, for like a 9-year-old to just be sprouting this off is mental. So I couldn't get it the night before, and like I was like knackered, and I just kept laughing, and my mum was like, right, we'll get it in the morning. But like the house was getting like an extension done at the time, so like, in the audition tape, my mum still got it. You can hear like people outside like building and all that, and like things breaking and smashing, and like out the front door, I think we were getting the garage built at that point, and it was just like carnage. Like I think the bricklayers were over or something like that. It was just nuts.
What does it feel like for being like if you can remember when you're 9 and you're doing that audition, and obviously like I know you're a very polite,
Aye.
fun, especially when you're a kid, because we haven't seen each other for quite a few years, so I've
Yeah,
not
it's
seen you
not
as
him.
like a full grown adult
Mhm.
technically. And the last time, like, you're such a polite, friendly, fun kid. Back then, like, how did it feel swearing and saying horrible things like in front of your mum?
Oh,
That must be weird.
I think that was the weird part, because my mum was like, "Look, it's fine. Like, you're not going to get in trouble or anything for it. Like, you're just working." And then I went back to my mates at school and was like, "Guess what I got to do?" and all that. Like, I think there was a scene in the movie where it was like the director Felipe, when we were over there, was like, like street cred's going to go up mentally, like, because there's a scene in it where he's like, the character Shmee is like basically drowned, and they're trying to resuscitate him on this boat, and he finally comes to, and it's like the girl in the movie, who's played by like Bianca, was her real name, is like, she's like sitting over him, and he goes, "Am I in heaven?" and then like reaches up and grabs her boobs, and I had to do that, right? And I went like back to school, and I'm going to my mates like, "Guess what I done?" and all that, and they're like, "Nah, no way, no way." And when the movie came out, I think I was like 13 or 14. They were like, "Yo, I thought you were lying, like, for texting me and all that," and they thought it was great. So there was that aspect where it was like, oh, my mum's there and stuff, it's a bit weird. And then the like going back to tell your mates in school, would being like 9 and you're in primary school, and you're like, "Oh, look at this!" Like, I'm like showing them like certain like lines I had to say and all that, and it was like just mental. I was like, it was
That's
great because
brilliant.
everybody was
Just to
just,
be able to be allowed to get away with that sort of stuff
yeah,
is fantastic.
That's why everyone wants to be an actor, to swear and do inappropriate things.
100%. And like, I think when everybody hears that now, when I'll tell them that, because I looked older for my age back then as well, and they'll be like, "Oh, what age were you when you filmed that?" And I'm like, "I was 9." And they're like, "Oh, like, that's like rough for a 9-year-old to be doing all that." But I think it was good because I just looked at it for, even though I was like still young, I think because I'd like grew up doing my acting and stuff, and I was on sets, and I'd done like short films and all that before it. I looked at it from like a quite a mature standpoint, so I wasn't like going back to school and just thinking, "All right, I'll just like say everything I'm saying in this script, I'll just say like when I go back home and it'll be fine." Like, I just went, "Right, no, that I'll leave that in Italy," and then went back and just kind of went back to being myself, which was a good thing, I think, because I think any other like 9-year-old would have been like, "Nah, stuff that. I'm going back and like tell my teacher to fuck off and all that." Do you know what I mean? Like, just so, yeah, I think it was good. Like, from that.
Do you,
Yeah.
do you think?
Can I be like a
sorry.
big cousin and ask a weird question? Like, how tall are you now?
I don't know. Sometimes it's weird. Sometimes it's like it's between like 6 foot and 6'2", and I'm not.
Jesus.
Are you doing basketball on the side, man? Like,
I know. I'm not being one of those people that's like, "Oh yeah, like I'm 6 foot, but I'm really 6'2". I don't really know. I've not been measured in ages, so I was like, it's kind of within that. Like,
I
do
I
you
was
just have a
showing.
growth spurt though, like a growth spurt.
I was like 5'10" for ages, and then I hit like 14, and I started like a bit of baby fat and that, and then just like my dad went away to work and came back, and I just sprouted up, and he was like, "You came back and you just done that. So what's going on?" So
Oh, a tiny 5'10" when you're 14. We have both peaked at 5'10".
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the end of ours. Yeah, yeah.
I was showing Drew this picture of us. That's the
nah,
last photo I've got of us together. Look at I'm like I'm like
no,
a man there, and you're like a child, and it's like 7 years ago. It's like,
I know.
how are you like 4 inches taller than me now? That is
Ah,
insane.
it's nuts. It is. I don't. All my pals are kind of. I've got a few mates that are like the same height like the boy that plays the guitar in my band. Me and him are like the same height, and then the drummer and the bass player are like, I think they're kind of like 5'10", 5'9" kind of height. So like when it's on
He's right
stage,
behind the drums though, man. He's lucky. He can hide behind the drums.
he's fine. Like, yeah, he's great, and wee Kyle, he's just on the bass doing his thing. But David's for Poland, so he's got like that Polish blood in him, like proper tall and like a big boy. And then so it's been pretty good like that way, because sometimes I'll be on stage and we're playing the guitars and stuff, and I'm like, I look so lanky up here because everybody else is kind of like just like that Richard Ashcroft kind of thing. So yeah, but
And you know what? To ruin your illusion, I've met Richard Ashcroft, and he is shorter than me.
oh man, that's brutal.
He's just
It's an
he's just
illusion.
just so skinny. He looks tall,
I
but
think
I've met him and he's about there on me. He's probably like 5'7", I'm guessing.
oh, I see. To be fair, like I think just the presence alone probably adds on a bit of foot. To be fair,
Oh yeah,
so,
yeah. He is like one of the like me and you don't we don't like the same sort of music that much. I know
Yeah.
you're very in the indie stuff at the moment. Like I was into that when I was younger as well, and I loved that obviously Oasis and stuff like that. And you'll forget like Richard Ashcroft was big before Oasis.
oh yeah, 100%. The Verve working it, and then that's why
Yeah, and they
this sort of
supported
thing.
each other and helped
Yeah,
boost
yeah.
each other, didn't they?
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a reminder to say we love and appreciate you all for listening to the podcast, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, as this really helps us continue to progress and improve the content and keeps us making these fun episodes for you guys. Oh, we're also on these things called Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us there too, as we share short, funny reels on the reg that you can share with friends if you like. Now, back to the mayhem.
But that's it. I, like because I'm into like metal, heavy metal, and like angry music. But my partner, she hates my music entirely.
Yeah.
Like, so we've only seen like a few bands together, and she really likes Richard Ashcroft. She's liked him since she was like a teenager. So we've seen him maybe like 4 or 5 times in the last 5
Right.
years because it's the only thing we can see together that we'll enjoy. But he's still got the pipes and the attitude and the swagger, and it's cool as fuck.
I think it's like it's that thing as well because obviously the Oasis reunion is happening and he's supporting them, and
Yeah,
that's been cool because like for people of my age and like my generation, it's great because there is no like I think that's why so many people are starting bands. Like most of the folk we'll do that are in our gig circuit are kind of like our age to like 21, 22, and it's all that kind of like age bracket. And because there's no music out there now, and like the indie genre are in like the charts that like people can relate to. It's all just kind of like mass produced garbage. So
I'm glad there's someone younger than
Agreed.
20 agreeing with that.
We were
Have
lucky
you got
we had
tickets?
some of the best music, man, to be fair.
yeah, it's like for me, well, we've been lucky enough to kind of have like the contact of Kyle Faulkner for The View, so that's been like a like big thing because
Oh yeah,
so like we've been playing with him, and then we're going over to Spain to his. I've been over once, but we're going over as a full band to his like songwriting camp, and then they're doing a festival, so we're playing in that. But we supported him in Kilmarnock not that long ago, and like talking to him, just even about music today, he's like the only reason that like bands like Fontaine's DC and all these bands are making it is because they're different. Like Sam Fender and stuff like that, they're doing different things, and like still like causing a bit of controversy. Like I saw the kneecap stuff and all that as well, and like these bands are like it's indie or it's like the kind of the Gaelic rap kind of thing, the Irish rap, but it's like no what like, the last time that like people my age had like the proper indie music that they could listen to was like the Arctic Monkeys and Jake Bugg and all that, and
Monkeys,
like,
man, yeah.
and again, it's that attitude. It is that Liam Gallagher sort of attitude and Rich Ashcroft thing. Because I've not seen you guys live yet, but obviously I've seen some videos and stuff. And I plan to come up to Scotland soon, and kind of catch one of your shows. But you do have an attitude on stage, which is cool as fuck. Like sunglasses indoors with a bit of swagger, and I'm like, that's not Jude. What the hell is that?
It's a thing where it's like I think that's how people cope on stage because I'm quite a like acting's different because I've done that since I was like a tot and like I've just been up on stage and I've known that, but when I do the music, like the guitar is definitely a crutch for me because I'm like I struggle without it. Like if I was just to sing like hold it like Liam Gallagher does, and obviously he's got the tambourine and stuff.
I was gonna say he's got a worse crutch than you.
But
Or a triangle.
the proper like just we handheld things, but I like the guitar because it's like a proper it's just something to focus in on, and it's kind of how I got into music as well. Because like although I love Oasis and Stone Roses and all those kind of bands, like I'm Beatles daft. So like if it wasn't for the Beatles, I wouldn't be playing guitar. Like the reason I picked up an Epiphone was because I was on like what guitar did John Lennon play, and then So that's the only guitars I play now. So that's why I use the guitars, because that's all my heroes, like Paul Weller and stuff. They're all like, when I see pictures of them, it's like guitars, and so.
I'm so glad you said that, because like I looked at the sort of style and I thought you were very like Stone Roses focused. To hear you mentioning the Beatles makes me happy. I've just finally got the last vinyl. I've got them all CD and vinyl and everything now, so got the whole set now. And Paul Weller is one of my favourite humans. I saw him literally about 3 months ago in Manchester. I've seen him, met him before as well. Got like signed stuff by him. Love him.
You've got good taste. Oh, sorry, I was going to say you've got good taste, Jude, and also there's a song kind of pretty much about it.
I think that's probably another reason why I like the Beatles, because that's just been like my life. Every time someone's like, "Hey Jude," is like the first like greeting thing. I like, "What's your name, Jude?" Oh, right, here we go. Here comes
it's good. You said, "Hey Dude," and you were like, "Wait, did you say?"
You could have revolted against that. Like that could have wound you up to the point of you hating the Beatles.
I think it did when I was like 4 and 5, and all. Like when I was like a wee boy, I'd be like, "Why do people keep singing at me every time they meet me?" Like I don't know what they're doing, but as I've got older, that's kind of became a thing where I'm like, just embrace it. But like, the Paul Weller, me, the drummer in my band, and my girlfriend, I went to see Paul Weller at the Barrowlands, and again, I'd say, obviously I'm going to see Oasis and that, and like, I've seen Noel and Liam separately, but I'd say to like go and see, I was like, Paul Weller's the best I've ever seen. Like he's like to still be doing it at that age and just rocking his.
He smashes it. He's so soulful, and it's like zero effort. You know, you see singers belting it, and Paul Weller is just so subtle with everything. He's just so casual, and it's just so soulful. He's amazing.
100%. And like I went to see Primal Scream, like not too long ago, and like I've met Bobby Gillespie and all that, and like he knows about my band and stuff, which has been cool, because we got like wee guitar picks made up. It said the Claes on them, and we were like, all right. And I wasn't well, but my dad went up to this like album signing he was doing at a place called Asai Records, and he was like, "Oh, here's a guitar pick. It's like my son's band." But like I think it was like 2 years before he'd done like a book signing up in Glasgow, and I've always been like quite a huge Primal Scream fan, and like Loaded and Come Together and all that. Like I love those tunes, and like Screamadelica is one of my favourite albums. So I'd like went up with my mum, and my dad's got this mandolin which is like started collecting signatures, because we bought my dad a mandolin for like Christmas, like 2 or 3 years ago. So it started like, so it's got like Kyle Faulkner's signature for The View, like Bobby Gillespie, I think John Power from Cast as well. He signed it, like hundreds, like all these signatures. So I like got him to sign this mandolin. He thought it was great. He's like, that's like so weird, like to bring a mandolin, and then told him about my band. So when my dad gave him the guitar pick, he's like, "Yeah, I know that name." And he was like, "Oh, my son gave you a mandolin." He was like, "Oh, the wee did with the mandolin and all that." So it was like, so that was cool. And
how do your parents feel about your music taste? Because it is very much their era. Because it's like, it's kind of my era, but I was kind of a bit too young for most of the bands you mentioned. Like Cast were when I was a youth and stuff like that, but all the other bands were, I thought it was cool because I was getting to older people music. Like,
oh yeah.
And you're even further behind. Like, do they love the fact that you like cool shit?
I think so, yeah, because my dad's always when I was like even when I was 2 and 3, like the Stone Roses were always on the car, and I like had the haircut and stuff when I was wee. Like, in like my primary one pictures, I've got like a wee like Beatles shed and all that, and like my dad's always kind of had that music on in the car, and it's always just the music's been on. But like even like throughout my childhood, like I've always been in. My mum and my dad have always showed me different types of music. Like even when I was younger, it was like rap and stuff. Like I've always loved Snoop Dogg and like Ice Cube and like, LL Cool J and stuff. And like more recently, like I've started getting into like De La Soul and all that, and I've always heard them talking about bands like that. And so like that's been really cool, because I've had that influence for like a young age with like my mum and dad, because like my dad went to see Oasis like countless times. Like he was at the Main Road gigs when like Noel had like the Union Jack guitar and all that, and like all those kind of things. So I think that's probably influenced me quite a lot, just through like hearing it like growing up, and it always been played. So, and then I didn't really like when I was younger, I didn't really get into it because I was like that age where I was like, oh, I didn't really get it, so it was what was on the radio. So like, I remember like I loved Ed Sheeran and all that at one point, and then went through I loved hip hop for ages, so like NWA and stuff, like all those kind of bands, and then and like hip hop groups and all that, and then I think it was like 13, 14. Like I picked up I think I was 12 when I started learning the guitar. Like loved the Beatles, and then went for like the Beatles to Oasis, and then back to the Stone Roses, and back to all the bands that I loved when I was younger, like Jake Bugg and the Arctic Monkeys thing was only recently because like 2 years ago I started getting into the Arctic Monkeys because that was like all my mates were like, all right, the Arctic Monkeys are like the best thing since sliced bread because they brought out that new album, The Car. And I remember I was always like, I wasn't sure of them because I was like, I don't really know, like it's not my kind of thing.
They're quite mixed as well. Like it's
Aye.
they did a massive U-turn a few years back, and
100%.
I like the album, but it's not Arctic Monkeys in my opinion. It doesn't sound anything like them. It's got some cool tracks, but it's not
Yeah.
a great album.
3am is really cool though. I like that album.
Yeah,
3am is sick. Yeah,
that's good. That's the earlier ones. That's when they all sounded the same. Not the same, but they all sound like Arctic Monkeys. But yeah.
And I was like, because I'd went and like started listening. I'd like listened to AM. Is like that was like the first album because everybody was like, you know, you've got all like the I Wanna Be Yours and all that. Like, those, and I was, oh, these are good. And my dad had showed me John Cooper Clarke and all that about that time. So I was like, oh, he's used his like poetry to like make a song. That's cool. And then like I like proper get into them like kind of like before we done our first gig as a band. Like I'd heard that Favourite Worst Nightmare album and I was like, all right, okay. Like, I think I was at that age to like understand it and be like, all right, okay, like I can like relate to this. Whereas like when I was like 12, like I wasn't like I was more interested in playing like Fortnite and all that with my mates. Like girls weren't really like in the picture at that point. It was just like you got a girlfriend for like 2 minutes and it was like the talk at school for 2 days. And then when you're like 14, like I've started a band and all that, and I was like, all right, okay, so like I was understanding the music more. So like that's one of my favourite bands now. But yeah, that kind of scene has always like influenced me. And then there's like a big influence in my music as well from like different. Like, I love blues. Like it's a proper like curveball for me. For like, I listen to hundreds of music. I've never been able to get into the metal thing. And like the bass player and the guitarist in my band are huge metalheads. Like that's
I think you said just proper metal but it's a gradual. You can't just go into metal. You've got to start with like your Slipknots and then get like this band T-shirt I'm wearing right now. I know it looks like Asian writing, but it's not. This is English. It's Worm Rot.
All right, okay.
Wow.
And all their songs are about a minute long and ferocious and just noise.
Where you play that kind of music, and if there's glass around, it might break.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. But just for context for the listeners as well, how old are you exactly? You're 17, right?
Yeah, 17.
So you don't talk like a 17-year-old. I'm telling you that now. You talk like a very musically educated person that knows stuff, because everything you've mentioned, you've given a caveat of the fact that you can see the connection between this modern band and the Beatles and stuff, and all these sort of things, and that's the important thing. Like to know, you listen to a new band, you go, I can see they've got some Beatles influence, they've got some, but it all comes from as you know, it all comes from the blues, it all comes from the Beatles. They are like the architects of everything that's good.
It's like all the stuff. Like, I love all the like the folklore, I like blues stuff as well, like the Robert, like selling it, like the Crossroads stuff and all that, and like that Robert Johnson thing, like selling your soul to the devil and stuff. And like, I'm like, that pure interests me. Like I love reading up on that and being like all that, like the Delta stuff and that. Like it's just cool. But
have you seen the film Sinners that's just come out?
I've not seen it. My girlfriend was actually she's like really wants to go and see it, and I was like, well, we'll need to get a day, because I saw like all the stuff around it and I was like, that's just
it's got a connection to music massively, and it's got a connection literally of selling the soul to the devil. That is the context of the film, basically. That's
what I think. The wee dude that plays the guitar in it is like based off Robert Johnson and all that. I saw that, like I fell in like a proper TikTok rabbit hole. I just like scrolling and being like, oh, it all ties in. So that's been like cool.
There's a track called Hotel California by the Eagles. If you ever
Aye.
get a chance to listen to, have you heard of the Eagles?
Oh yeah. I love the Eagles.
That's one of my favorite tracks in the whole world,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And that kind of duality of like heaven and hell, like trapped in that hotel, and they're there
that's a
caught by
dark
their own
song.
devices. It's really, really clever, really deep, kind of poetic, and profound track.
As well as I think if you get the vinyl and you put it on backwards, it's like Satan is God or something like that. It says if you
No
like
way.
it's mental. Like I can't remember what I think it was on. Like
That stuff would trip me out if I play tracks in reverse and I hear like
it's
sentences
mental,
of like.
Oh, it's weird. So that stuff where it's like I think Sergeant Pepper's. If you play it backwards, it says Paul is dead and all that. Like it's
What?
mental. Like,
Yeah, I still don't even know if that's true. I think a lot of that's folklore, but you never know with like the early
You just
pressings.
don't want to do it though. Imagine you doing that on your own. You're like, I don't want to be hearing this.
No, I know. Like, I always struggle. The boy that plays the bass in my band's like a huge Pink Floyd fan. Like, that's his favourite band, and like he's always talking about Pink Floyd and stuff. And I remember one time I put the wall on, like just because he was like, "Oh, I should put the wall on to fall to sleep." He's a proper like, he just loves all that stuff. And I was like, "All right, okay." And I put my earphones in, and I like drifted off. And I think I woke up during like, is it The Trial or something like that? And like The Wall, Pink Floyd, and it's like pure shouting in English accents. I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" Like I felt like I'd been like spiked with acid or something like that. I was like,
it's a trippy album. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. And so all that stuff. But I like one of my favourite artists now, and it's kind of like showing my progression into like music and acting. And like how they kind of go together for me is I love Jeff Buckley, if you've ever heard of him.
Of course, mate. Like one of the greatest songwriters and most beautiful vocalists ever to exist.
100%. And
Lover Should Have Come Over is the best song, probably one of the top 5 songs ever.
So like my dream role to play, if I was to ever like play like an actual person in like real life, would be Jeff Buckley. Like if I could like play Jeff Buckley in a movie, that's for me that would be like.
Have you heard there's obviously the main album Grace, but there's another album. It's a live album in a cafe,
and it's like the.
It's like a 2-hour album.
Oh yeah, he does like the Smiths cover and all that on it, and it's like the Bob Dylan stuff, and it's great.
Drew, they just put a recorder in a cafe in Paris, and he's just doing like I don't think people quite know who he is, and he's just recording himself in a cafe, and that's out as an album, and it is stunning. And you can hear people chatting in the background and stuff.
Like cutlery being like people eating.
Yeah, but it's the most amazing album. A few covers in there as well.
I was going to say Cream is another cool album for you, dude. If you don't know, and The White Room is a vibe.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Do you know that track?
I don't think so. I've heard the Cream of the album, but I'll need to like.
Oh mate, White Room is just so iconic. They used it in the film Joker.
Ah, right, yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
During the bit where he's driving in the thing, and it's like Gotham is on fire, and it's like in the White Room.
That's used on so many films as well. That's a very, very popular song. That one,
it's awesome.
I took media in school, so it's basically like you just do film studies. It's like a subject for doing that. It's great, and I think it's probably prepared me for coming on here. But there's a thing. We were doing like a study, and it was like you had to like pick out things. It's like different shots and stuff and angles, and like how like the Joker's like an unreliable narrator and all that. And if you look at it from his like point of view, and there's like a thing where it's like when he's coming down the stairs and how it's like the fall of his like mental state, and like Gary Glitter's playing, and it's like how it's like so controversial, and like if you couldn't pick like a more controversial track than they put like a Gary Glitter song on it, and it was like so like it's just genius to like do that kind of thing, and like that type of movie, because like the stuff that he does in the film is just nuts. So and I think because there's the like correlation between like Taxi Driver and King of Comedy in those films.
Yeah,
it's so cool to see that.
Not subtle at all. Not subtle.
It's just like you've got De Niro right there, like playing a presenter and all that. It's
he's basically playing the opposite role from King of Comedy at that section. Yeah.
And
have you seen 28 Years Later by any chance?
I go to the RCS on a Sunday for like a juniors program, and there was a big graduation thing that was going on, and like we turned up early to rehearsals because I'm actually doing a play tomorrow night. It's a Tennessee Williams play. It's called Summer and Smoke. So it's the same guy that wrote A Streetcar Named Desire and stuff. So it's really cool, and like we're doing all like the southern accents and stuff. So it's really nice. But so we were there yesterday, Sunday, and we got there like 4 hours early, and we're like, what we're going to do? And I was like, why don't we go to the cinema and go see 28 Years Later? And it was me and my mate Aaron, and he was like, we'll go and do it. We ended up not going, but I saw like all the stuff like the Jimmy Savile stuff and all that, and like how this is like a pure thing. And I was like,
when you mentioned Gary Glitter, that's all I was thinking of, but I didn't want to spoil it for you.
To be fair, like, I think if you go on TikTok when any new film comes out, or like any like social media, you've just no chance. I think you need to like shut yourself off for like the
and there's no context to it. So like when you go that's weird. How did they fit that in? No, there is no context. It just gets slammed in somewhere.
Well, that's like the film should have ended like 20 minutes late, like 20 minutes earlier, and it would have been like finished. And then they make like a Jimmy Savile cult or something like that. I was like, wow, that's
I mean, there is logic to it, but it seems mad at the time.
It's the beginning and the end. It's like the head and the tail of a journey for Jimmy, but also it goes a bit Tarantino. If I'm honest, it's a bit mental.
Yeah, that's what like I just think things like that are nuts. Like, it's cool though because obviously like as artists, like in any like whether it be music, like poetry, art, or like movies, like if you've got to be controversial, you may as well go for it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's no point in beating around the bush. Like if you're going to do something that's nuts,
there's a lot of experimental stuff in it, so it's good that they went a bit mad. Yeah,
it felt a little bit like a mad-ass music video at points.
Nice,
like this is like a crazy movie. Yeah,
because like I just basically what you're saying is it's one of the movies just nuts. It's like, and I've not actually saw the original with Cillian Murphy or anything like that, and I think that's why I kind of like strayed away from going to see it, because I feel like I need to watch like those movies first before I go and see this one. And
I'd say so. They're not. They are directly linked, Drew. We're going to be doing a spoiler special after this episode. It's going to come out before your episode, so we don't want to talk about it too much. But
feel free to tune into that if you want.
Go back and listen to the spoiler review. We talk about 28 days, 28 weeks, and 28 years later. So do you like Kneecap? You just mentioned that earlier.
I think that, it was really my mate that got me into them. My mate Matthew was like, he got like to see the balaclava, like he came into school and all that with it, so it was like it might have been like 6 months ago, like 6 months to like a year ago. He was like, you had a Kneecap, and I'd saw stuff, but I'd never been like, and then I was like, no, and he was like, well, watch the movie and then listen to their album. I was like, right, okay. So I watched the movie and was like, oh, this is brilliant. Like,
it's one of the best films, isn't it? It was my, I think it was in my top 2 or 3 films of 24.
Oh, it's
Drew still hasn't watched it, have you?
Not yet.
It's free on Prime.
I know, man. I know.
It's free, and I'm not saying watch a rubbish film just for the sake of it. This film is hilarious. You will enjoy it every millisecond.
4 or 5 times. I know it's good because the fact that you've seen it so many times.
It's so good.
Yeah, I want to, man. I will. I was just doing my homework for 28. Anyway,
all right.
It's that scene. I've not obviously she's not seen the full thing, but I've showed like my grand scenes and all that from it. Like my dad's mum, and she's like buckled like the scene like where it's the orange walk and he like grabs the I can't remember like the baton thing. He's like, the Rangers are fucking shite. No, like she'd saw that and like she was buckled, and
I thought it was too good. I didn't when I watched the film. I didn't know the context. I didn't realize the guys in the film were actually the actual singers.
Yeah, they're the actual like
I
rappers.
thought they're actors portraying them. It's the real band.
Yeah, and I think that's why I respected it even more, because I'm like, these are just boys that have never had like acting experience in their life. Like, I know like people say like about the adolescence thing where it's like, oh, he's never had acting experience, and it's like, well, his drama school were putting up pictures of him like as soon as they think about it. I was like, well,
adolescence. It was his first. I think the big thing was that it's his first actual role outside of learning.
But
still, he's been learning. You
know, he was still bloody scary though. Like to
100%,
at that age to do a performance where he just turns it like that on the girl. You're like, this is intense, man.
It was that thing where like you
listen to me when I'm talking to you. Like, whoa, okay.
And then you see like people making the I seen a lot of edits and all that on social media where it's like he starts shouting and folk like that, like doing the thing where it's like they're pretending to punch him when he flies back and all that. And I'm like, that's brilliant. Like they're editing it and all that. I'm like, that's class.
Man,
But
people would do all that strange editing.
it's he's a really good. I can't remember the boy's name, but he's a really good actor. And I think he's doing a film with Margot Robbie and all that now as well.
Yeah.
he's
Wuthering
playing-
Heights
Yeah, he's playing the young
with Jacob Elordi as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So-
mean, like, I just think actors like that, they know, are kind of keeping the industry going. Like, I think Chalamet is probably the best about. I think he's the boy right now. I think he's
Yeah. I don't think I liked him that much, but like he's grown on me a lot.
for me as well. I was the same. Like, I think when like, I saw like different things of him, and I'm trying to think what movie it was. Maybe in the first June or like
I think,
before that.
June turned it around for me because I
Yeah.
saw him as a serious actor rather than. I mean, he was good before. He was just, I don't know. He had a quite annoying face. I was annoyed by him, and then the Bob Dylan one. That was the one that was like
he was so good.
cemented it. I was like,
Right. That movie
Yeah,
was amazing.
because the other ones he was just good at being serious or being silly, whereas Bob Dylan, I was like, you've embodied him.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was epic.
I thought I watched that. I think it's Beautiful Boy, and I think that turned it for me because I went, sitting. I watched that movie and I was like staring at a wall for 3 days after it. I was like, oh my god, that was like nuts.
Have you seen that, Drew?
No, is that with the one with Army Hammer?
It's the one with Steve Carell as his dad.
Oh no,
And
no,
he's like a really like cute little kid, and he gets into drugs far too young, and
gosh.
it goes south.
Probably turns into Basketball Diaries kind of thing.
It goes like
that kind of
from the nicest loving son to like hating his dad and being horrible and piece of shit.
So that's another great movie, Basketball Diaries. I think.
Yeah.
For me, I know a lot of people don't like him, but I think I've not seen a Mark Wahlberg film where I've not enjoyed it. Apart from that one where it's like the kind of horror thriller movie where
The Happening.
Yeah, like everybody takes the mick out of it, and everybody's like, "What's going on in this movie?" And it's like, apart from
It had the best introduction in the world, though. Everyone stood on roofs and just falling, like everyone committed suicide. But it was the fact when you found out it was the wind, you're like, what?
No, it's just like, but I love Mark Wahlberg, and like I think even when he was like doing roles like that when he was younger, it's like how like the actual like span of his like acting performances is great, and
He's
Let's
all
not forget-
serious stuff's good.
Let's not forget The Departed as well, man. He was
100%,
nominated. He was nominated, and so obviously was Martin Scorsese. But his character, spoiler alert, is the only one left anyway. If they were going to do a sequel, but yeah, his performance was amazing in that.
100%, and I think like he's also like, he can do the funny roles, like him and Will Ferrell, and anything is just funny. Like they get the job done, and it's kind of the same with like Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson. It's that kind of duo.
Oh yeah, man. Wedding Crashers.
What movie, like, and like that, is it The Internship, where it's like they go
Yeah.
I will not be having a cold one with you.
they're doing it, and it's like we put it on the line, you know. It's like on the line. Like I just think like Vince Vaughn's one of my. If I was to work with anyone as well, it would be Vince Vaughn. I think Vince Vaughn.
Yeah.
Really,
Did you watch Bad Monkey? Is it Bad Monkey on Apple?
I hadn't seen it yet. No, I think the last, like the most recent Vince Vaughn thing I watched was that one he done, and it was like he was the killer, but he swapped bodies with like the teenage girl. It's like
that's hilarious, man.
Yeah, it's good. So I've watched all those things, but I like my favourite like Christmas movie as a kid, like growing up, was like Fred Claus and all that. All they like really like that, like Paul Giamatti playing Santa Claus and that's like great. So
he's another great one as well. But yeah, honestly, Vince Vaughn, Bad Monkey on Apple. It's a series, and he's like not retired. He's like been told off because he does things inappropriately to solve crimes, and then crimes start kind of happening to him. He kind of walks into one, starts trying to solve it on the side, and it's all So it's funny, but it's got dark moments.
It goes
as well,
deep. It goes into some really interesting places with like witch doctors and all kinds of stuff.
I think Apple's got some belters out there now. Like I thought Ted Lasso was stunning. Like I think Ted Lasso is probably one of the best things. Ted Lasso and like The Bear are like the two best things I've seen in like.
Oh my god, yeah, The Bear. I'm only on season 2, but I think Kevin is pretty much bang up to date with The Bear.
Oh, so good. Like I've seen a bit of season 3. I need to actually finish season 3, but like it's just
season 4 is coming out soon.
I know, yeah, that's what I'm trying to crack on with season 3. Like it's just with the band and stuff, I've not had time to like just sit and like. I ended up. I think I got back into Titans for a while. If you've seen that, it's on Netflix. It's basically like they've done like an adult show of like the Teen Titans.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like based in that universe. Like you've got Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones plays Batman. Like it's like he's like an older Bruce Wayne.
Oh, mate, that was the Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Mate, I auditioned for that to
Did
play
you?
part of Robin. Yeah.
All right, amazing. Like
never heard nothing. But
I ended up getting really into that. Like that came out when I was like 11, and I was like, oh, this is like the best thing ever. Because obviously Jeff Buckley, I'd love to play him, but apart from that, I've always been like Robin Daft from like a wee boy, and I was like, oh, if I could play Robin in anything, that would be amazing. And I just think I know people always go, I want to play Batman, but I just think Robin's like just cool for like. I don't know, for whatever reason.
He's not man had any great role. I mean, I haven't seen Titans, so maybe he's good in that one, but like he's quite often a butt of a joke, but he could easily be very, very good.
I think if they'd done it for the Robert Pattinson thing, they would blow it out of the water. I feel like if they'd done it with
serious side of things, yeah.
And like the Robin I'm kind of like most interested in is like Jason Todd, like the Red Hood stuff and all that, and I was like, if they'd done that with that, like
it felt like they kind of did, though. You know, the Batman one with Robert Pattinson, you know, the little boy at the beginning is dressed as the Red Hood character. And I wondered if that kid came back later on, but they'd have to shoot like many, many years ago, but like in the future. But I thought it was really interesting how he's dressed as the Red Hood.
100%. And I think as well, like, I don't know how they're going to do it. And if they do introduce it, like, hopefully somebody sees this and they give me a call, but like... They'll maybe need to put Robert Pattinson in high heels, because I don't think he's 6'2", but like I'd love to do like a role like that. I just think it'd be so like I remember when I was like wee and that was like, oh, I'd love to play Robin, that was like the thing. And then now obviously like they're doing that DC Universe stuff with like the new Superman, and then they're casting a new Batman and stuff, and I was like, I'd love to do that, like that'd just be cool. There's like anything to do that sort of work. But yeah, I just, apart from like being my acting, my music, like I've always been into like comic books and that since I was like tiny, and that's always been like a big part of my life, and all like music and all that's kind of took over. But I always kind of keep that like bit, like I've got like a big box over there that's like full of comic books and like just daft wee things about my room, and so that's always been like a big part of my life as well. And probably like the first time I ever watched Deadpool was actually at Michael's. And my mum was like, I'm not letting you watch it. I think I was like 8, like 7. And Michael was like, I'll just stick it on. And I was like watching Deadpool, and I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to be watching this. This is great. And so it was like Michael kind of showed me all those kind of films, like Bloodsport and all that. And
yes, he knows how to. He taught me Jean-Claude Van Damme. I wouldn't have heard of Van Damme if it wasn't for Michael. He used to go around. Before you were around, he probably told you when he owned the club and stuff like that.
Oh, I had the big wall with the masks and all that, and the my mum told me. Like,
so I used to go around his, and he's the reason I used to collect weapons as well. I'd like dozens of swords and nunchucks and shurikens and stuff like that. It's all because Michael had it and got into all the martial arts and became a fighter and got into Jean-Claude Van Damme all because of Michael. So he actually stole me. Like I wasn't allowed. My parents are pretty cool. They're pretty open to films, and I watched like Predator and Terminator when I was like 8 years old.
I was fine with like that stuff, but it was like because like Deadpool came out and people were like, oh, this is like the most mental movie. Like they've been out
swearing and stuff.
Oh, and it was like the
violence is ultra violent. Like,
but it's funny. It's funny
violence. It's just it's daft. Like it's and
you watch RoboCop at the same age. That's devastating violence.
Oh yeah, that broke me as a kid. That absolutely broke me.
But when I went around Michael's, the only film my parents did not allow in the house was The Exorcist.
Oh right.
Because they were around in the 70s when it came out, and literally people were taken out in stretchers, there were ambulances, and it was a much more God-fearing era, and people believed in Jesus more, and people believed in exorcisms more, so it was more terrifying. And Michael copied me a VHS and wrote, I don't know, Sister Act on it or something, and gave it to me so I could put it in all my collection. And I had Exorcist, and my parents didn't know for years that I had it.
Man.
I told them that I was an adult, and they still gave Michael a bit of shit for it.
I like no, I was staying at his for like Halloween. So I'd like I've always kind of like during the weekends been up doing my acting in Glasgow and Michael. Sometimes I'd stay at Michael's and just go there in the morning because he lived like round the corner from it. And it was like this Halloween night, and he was like, "You ever seen The Crow?" And I was like, "No, no, I've not seen The Crow." And he was like, "This is one of my." He's like, "Can you tell me your favourite movie ever?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Well, I can tell you my favourite movie ever, and it's The Crow." So we're watching it, and I was like, "Right, okay." And like Nicola and the kids and all that went to bed, and I was sitting with Michael watching The Crow, and I was like, "This is like class." Like, and I'd never seen it, and I'd heard like the story about like Brandon Lee getting shot and stuff, and then like I watched it, and I think it became my full personality for like 2 months. Where I was like buying all the comic books, and I think I was like gentleman and all that, all that stuff. So yeah, no, I love that film, and there's been like a good few movies that Michael's got me into, like I can't name a lot of them off the top of my head, but all
The
that.
Crow is the greatest. That's my number one.
They were saying that Heath Ledger borrowed elements of The Crow for the Joker. And there's actually got like image for image as well. So I think Christopher Nolan got behind that, and some of the shots they've set up very similarly to The Crow. Actually, that intro bit where he's like, "Good evening, everyone." You know, and it's like where he says to everyone before he does the pencil, "I'm going to make the pencil disappear." It's like all that kind of stuff.
So similar, yeah. That I think it was Michael actually told me that one as well, and then I was like watching it, and I went, "Did Tim Burton direct this?" And he was like, "Nah, but it's like so like the inspiration for Burton in it is crazy. Like you can just see it in The Crow." And I was like, "It's so Burton." Like, and I love Tim Burton movies and stuff like that. But I like that those type of films as well are great. But like recently, I've started, because I'm going to drama school and that after the summer. I've started getting into more like more of the serious acting, and I watched A Panic in Needle Park with Al Pacino. So it was like his first ever screen role, and I was like, so that I'd say right now that's probably my favourite film, because I'm like, wow, just it's about like New York and like drug addicts in New York in the 60s, I think, and it's like it's just before he got The Godfather, and the reason he got it was like they weren't sure about casting him in The Godfather because like he's a stage actor. What business has he got being in The Godfather? And then they watched The Panic in Needle Park, and they were like, "Yeah, sign him in straight away." So I'd heard that story and was like, "Right, I need to watch this," and I put it on. Like, it's not on any streaming platforms or nothing, so I had to go on like a dodgy website to watch it, and I put it on and like watched the full thing, and I was like, "Wow, this is like one of the most like stunning movies," and it was like so like the realism in it was like beautiful, and I was like, "This is an amazing film."
Never even heard of the film.
Yeah, it's actually literally just like this. But I'd only heard of it because I really got into Pacino and like got into like, because I think a young Pacino from like A Panic in Needle Park to that's it there, and like a young Pacino from like A Panic in Needle Park to like The Godfather 2, and like maybe like a bit after that is like I'd say he's like the GOAT. I don't think there's anyone's ever done it better. I just think he just does it right. Like
Heat's pretty good. He's in Heat as well with the two.
Oh yeah, I've seen you like, "She got a great ass," and all that stuff. Like,
your head all the way up. yeah.
Like I just think, and then Val Kilmer as well is another like hero of mine. Like obviously sadly passed away, but I'd say Val Kilmer's my favourite Batman. And like everybody would be like, "What?" Like no, but just from like growing up and watching those movies, and at that time it was the only movie like live action that had a Robin, so I was like right up for that, and I was all right, okay.
There's the connection.
Chris O'Donnell, but I see what you mean. They made his character badass because his parents get killed at the fairground, and he's full of rage, and he's like, "I want to avenge them." Yeah,
and they give him the skinhead as well, and make him.
He was badass, mate. He wasn't like in tights and stuff. He looked.
They
looked really cool, man.
Yeah, and then I don't know, they kind of like he lost a bit of the aura, didn't he, when they put nipples on the suits, and then it was like,
and he couldn't turn his neck either, could he? He was like stapled in. I need to see that film again. I've not seen that for ages, and everyone bangs on about it.
Batman Forever is really good.
Actually, I love it. I think Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face and Jim Carrey's the Riddler. They just done the job. I think for that time as well, where everything was over the top and pop culture was such a big thing.
And they hated each other during filming as well. Those two did not get on.
Yeah, Jim Carrey as well as don't kill him, he won't learn nothing. And he's got that little head bouncing. Do you remember the bit? The head is Valkyrie's head on a tennis racket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
it's just and I think when you look at that time in the 90s, you had Britpop in the UK, and then you had all that kind of stuff in America, and it was how everything was so over the top. So I think for that time it just fit so well. And then obviously they brought George Clooney in, and I don't know, I think the movie's all right. I don't, and I know people it was just basically one big advert. It was kind of like the Rocky IV thing, but it was just a big advert for everything, whatever brands were out at the time, like Coca-Cola had money and all these things, so they were just taking money off them. But and I think that's why they were so kind of cheesy and stuff. But I think it's still done the job, and I still love those films just for what they are. So
that's not too far around the time of Wayne's World 2 when they're taking the piss out of all the advertising. Yeah, I love that bit.
I love those films as well. Was it the swing? You know that
swing.
All those kind of films. And I remember when another film Michael got me into was Jay and Silent Bob and stuff like that. All those all those movies,
Dogma and stuff like that.
The Clerks as well was one where they
Clerks.
And all those kind of movies that it came out before my time, way before my time, and I was watching them, and Michael goes, "Oh, you need to watch these and watch these." And when I was kind of going up, I've not been able to get up as much now just because my music and stuff. I don't stop. But I used to be up at Michael's all the time when I was younger, and it was always great because I'd always go in, there'd always be a new movie or something to watch, or it was always the Star Wars chat and all that stuff, which I loved. And so I think Michael's kind of like that kind of big brother for me at that point, where it was just show me all these things, and I was like, oh my god, this is brilliant. And
he is the one to educate. He's got pretty good taste.
With all the films and stuff. And then so I've always had influences for people in my life, whether it be with films or with music, with my parents and stuff. And then now obviously I'm for my influences, I'm kind of venturing out my family, because I'm meeting all these people through my music and stuff, like Kyle Faulkner and stuff like that, and all these people who were my heroes before I met them, and now I'm playing with them. We played with Chris Helm for the Seahorses.
Oh yeah.
2 weeks ago, which was John Squire's band after the Stone Roses, and that was mental because we were just talking to him, and I was oh, I've got this tune, can I play it? And he was I had to pack all his stuff up. He's just send me a demo of it, and I texted him the other day, I've got this demo done, can I send you it? And he was yeah, just email me it. And I was I've got Chris Helm's email now, this is nuts. These are people who are my heroes for ages, and now it's I'm just talking with them, and it's mental. So that's I love that aspect of getting to do it. Because people see, if I didn't have to get paid for it, I wouldn't take money, because all these experiences are that's what I'm in it for. I don't know, I'm in it for the clothes and the guitars and the music, and meeting all these cool folk. The money doesn't really I couldn't really
it's a byproduct of if everything else is working well, it's a byproduct. But if you enjoy what you're doing, that's amazing.
100%. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask as well, because Drew, I think you already know anyway, is obviously an actor as well, and he's a poet, and he writes what you could call lyrics, but he called poems, but it could be lyrics.
It's the same thing.
And I know you're going to songwriting camp. What is the? Do you write your songs? Do you write with any of your band members? How does it come to fruition?
With the band, it's just me, and it's been like that for a while. But everybody's kind of starting to try their hand at writing, but I struggle to write with other people. And it's not against other folk. I totally respect everyone as artists.
Personal thing though, isn't it? If you've got a story or a narrative. Yeah.
For me, I just sit in my room and I'll just bang. I don't really write about anything. Everything falls at the sky, and it's a weird thing, because a lot of people go "What do you mean? You need to have something?" Whereas for me, it's like I'll like write all these lyrics and they'll be like great tunes, and that's not me like bumming myself up or anything like that. I just know they're like good songs, and like I'll write and I'll listen to it and I'm like, where's that come from? And then 3 weeks down the line when I'm having like a bit of a moment, I'll be like, oh, like that was happening at that time, and this is where like we'd done a song, we've got a song, Double Denim Ballerina, which is the one that everybody's kind of like latched onto, because I was in like a big Bob Dylan
Great
era.
name, by the way.
Like that's everybody goes, oh, well, that's like a cool name for a song, and I just had the name. But where I think it's kind of came from is we played. I've actually got like a few wee things here. So we played King Tut's, which is like if people like Oasis and that's like where Oasis first got signed and stuff. So like there's like a like badge for like playing. We've got like a AAA badge and stuff.
I've still never been to King Tut's. That's one of the one place in the UK I haven't ticked off my list of like one of those seminal club venues.
We're playing it in the 21st of August again, and like this has got to be like a big. It's my favourite venue to play that we've ever played anyway. So we played in there, and it was just that thing of like, I've got like these songs and my head's always like going and stuff, but my girlfriend had like Double Denim on, and I was like, and I'd never noticed this until like a month after I'd wrote it. I was like going down the pictures, but I think at that point it was like all these pictures were like the front of my phone, so it was like I've just subconsciously done it, and I've like clicked on the picture and I went, that's where that came from, like the Double Denim part, because I've been like, although like I like Levi's and stuff, like my denim jackets, because I'm in an indie band, so that's kind of like the like Fred Perry and Levi's like the go to, but like I'd never like I've always slagged Double Denim, and then like I'd saw that and I went, that's where that came from, and then just I don't know what I think the ballerina part, I was listening to Tiny Dancer by Elton John, and no, that bit's like, ballerina, you must have seen her. That's where that came from, and I was like, Double Denim, but alright, that'd be cool. And then like I just kind of sat down with the name, and I had like the melody and stuff, and then just worked all the lyrics around like what was going on in my life at that point, and then what like about like the Double Denim ballerina thing, and because I think after I'd finished writing it, like the idea for the music video's always been there, where I want like just this black and white, like you know how in like the old movies it's like 3, 2, 1, and then it goes, it's like the crackly thing. I want like that, and then to have like this like girl, obviously like just to have a ballerina and like Double Denim, like a Levi's like 501 like Double Denim, like just like kitted out in that, doing like pirouettes, but have the full hang black and white, and the only thing that's ever blue is the denim, and then like kind of like follow the story through that, and like there's a lyric in it, I think it's like now it's raining in the courtyard and the piper's playing, and like I've never been one like to write about like Scottish stuff or anything like that. Like it's like I'll sing in like a kind of Scottish voice, but it's never like all the kind of lyrics that I like relate to Scotland, and my like stuff is like stuff from like been out and like out with my mates and stuff like that.
Just universal subjects,
yeah. That lyric came up, and I was like, that'd be so cool to have like blue bagpipes and like everything else is black and white, and then you've got all that in like a courtyard, and like I'll play that song back, and I'm like, where does all this stuff come from? Because there's lyrics in that where I'm like, it's like deep stuff. I think it's like
subconscious, I guess.
And there's a lyric in it, I think it's like maybe it's true, what's in front of me is right behind you, and I think that's always like stuck with people, and that's the one that people are like, where did you get that from? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just like this it's just this like thing that like falls at the sky, and maybe it's just luck, or maybe it's just like a magic, I don't know, or maybe like I've accidentally sold my soul or something like that. That's where it's coming from. Like I'm at the crossroads in Irvine or something. Nah, but
sometimes you just got the gift, man. Like, how do you do it, Drew?
Mate, I was going to say that's so spooky you said that, Jude, because that's exactly the same thing. I think I said in an interview when someone was chatting to me, I said the words almost fall through the ether, and I just create a cobweb and I just catch them, and I'm able to just use it. Because people are like, yeah, but you get to do it all the time, and I'm like, well, just the universe is just very generous to my pen. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
I think I saw a thing, and it was like Noel Gallagher. It said the thing, he's like songwriting's just fishing, or like poetry, whatever, like that kind of just lyricism. is like fishing, and it's like if you don't catch it, like I think he said like Bono's going to catch it, or Sting's
it's going to go to someone else. Yeah,
Chris Martin for Coldplay is going to catch it, and it's like, so you just need to just catch them while you can. And like there's so many like things that, like I write all the time. Like that's probably why I've like more like resided to my room as like being like 17, because I've never been like that. Like I've always kind of been out, but I picked up the guitar and now I'm like became a pure proper like loner. Like I'm just up, like I go out and that, like I don't mean it like I just sit in my room all day and play guitar like a pure weirdo, but like a lot of my time when I'm not like doing other stuff is spent writing. And like I couldn't name how many songs I've got because it's just all I do, but a lot of stuff I'll keep personally and then I'll take ones to the band. And like I take so much inspiration from different artists, but like my biggest like inspiration is Bob Dylan, because from like there's just been like a spiritual connection I've had. And I know that sounds like weird and it might sound a bit stupid, but I think the first time I like, again, my dad was who got me into Bob Dylan. I think we were coming down, I'd done like a wee acting job up in wherever it was, I think it was near like Motherwell, and I was coming back down the car and it was like a dark road, and my dad had put on Mr. Tambourine Man, and I was like, remember like hearing this for the first time, being like, this is like who is this guy? Like this is the greatest like dude to ever do it. And I still think Bob Dylan's probably like my main hero. Like I love the Beatles and stuff, like they're all up there for me. But when I like really, really, really got into Bob Dylan, I was like, this is just like, and I think that's why I like looking at songwriting from like a poetry point of view as well, because that's basically, he was a poet and then went to like put
that cover you did the other week of Bob Dylan was fantastic.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
really good.
Is that the one you sent us? That's the one you sent us, was it?
Yeah. And it's a difficult song to sing as well because it's really complex lyrics.
But also the soul, like it's interesting. You said that you kind of like almost kindred spirits, you and Bob Dylan, in a way. You almost embodied it though. So not only from like an acting point of view, but you took on a persona, and that's what I think Kev was saying, that it didn't seem like it was out of your reach. If anything, it seemed like it was coming from you. But it's like it's your rendition of his song, and that's what I loved about it.
Thank you.
You had such soul, man. You had real gravitas, and I was like, this kid's got some serious talent.
Thank you.
Girl from the North Country.
That's one of my favourite Bob Dylan songs, and it's like I think the good thing is with like me and like my pals and stuff, we all like the same music but different like avenues of it. So like I love indie music, and all my mates love indie music. But like as I said, like my bass player, he loves Pink Floyd, or David loves metal and stuff as well. But he's from Poland, so he embraces like his Polish side of like a lot of bands. So he's into like a lot of these Polish bands, and he loves that. Is it Rammstein or something like that? Like it's like
a German band,
German like metal band and stuff. Like he loves all that kind of stuff, and like all these like different type of bands. And it's so cool to like have all that influence with people in my life. Like if it wasn't for like my girlfriend, I probably wouldn't have ever got into Jeff Buckley, because it was kind of her that was like, oh, like, there's this like Jeff Buckley's like the guy, and I was like, who's that? And then she like showed me like, Lover, you should have come over, and I was like, all right, cool. And then I like kind of one upped her and was like, all right, cool, I'll just like go and basically like get obsessed for 2 weeks and listen to everything. Now I know like all these like songs. She's like this like different version of like a demo that he'd done in like Chicago or something like that. And she's like, how have you found this? Like, I put you onto this guy, and now you're like stealing his. Like,
you need to do a cover of Jeff Buckley. Do a bit of Grace or Mojo Pin or something like that.
I saw him. He'd done the I love You Should Have Come Over. I love that song, but I saw his version of like I Know It's Over by the Smiths and Mama You've Been On My Mind by Bob Dylan. Like, although it's not his songs, like I think his voice and the kind of essence he brings to it, that kind of thing, like putting your own into it.
Well, that's it. Bob Dylan's like one of the best creators, but some of the best songs he's ever done is his songs done by like Jimi Hendrix. All Along the Watchtower is one of the best songs, but Jimi Hendrix does it better than Bob Dylan.
Well, I was just going to say, like what Jude's doing though, in a weird way. Like, you know, when you said like, not that you're at home and you're becoming a recluse. I actually think you're just putting your time and energy and passion into what you love. So it's like that famous kind of 10,000 hours. Jimi Hendrix took his guitar everywhere. This sounds crazy. Like probably when he took a bath, he'd probably have it in the bath. When he was on the toilet, like every single place, he slept with his guitar, man. Yeah. It's like the idea that it becomes almost another part of you. Yeah, and I really admire what you're doing as an artist, because you're putting the time in to your passion, and you're dedicated to what you love, man. And that's the difference between someone that's good at something and someone that's amazing and excellent at something.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think for me as well, like obviously you see a lot of these like people that are on the piano and stuff, and all these like top like musicians that do like, or like jazz musicians that are like the work ethic is insane. But for me, I feel like I couldn't do that because it feels forced. And also for them, it's not, because they're like enjoying it. But like classical music and all that's just never like appealed to me. And I've never been able to go. Like I just feel like it's hard work. Whereas like with writing and stuff, when I'm writing, I only started writing because I realised I couldn't. Like I was a bit mince at playing everybody else's songs, so I was like, I'll just write my own and then rip everybody else off. But I started like writing just that proper like Noel Gallagher like attitude. But I started writing like for that reason, and then realised I was like, oh, I'm actually getting pretty good at this. Like I'd be going to like party or like gaffs as we call them in Scotland, and I'd be like, oh, like I'm writing songs, and like there'd always be a guitar there, and I never wanted to be that guy with a guitar, because I was like, oh, that's how you're a pure dweeb if you do that. So I'd always like wait, and somebody would be like, oh, Jude plays guitar, like play the guitar. I'm like, all right, okay, and then I'd maybe bang a tune out. But I remember I was at like a party, and like I'd like played my. I genuinely think the reason that I was like writing my own songs was just to impress girls. So that was like the thing that I'd like picked it up for. But I was only like 14, so it was like, I wasn't really getting out much in that anyway.
That is the source of all creativity and the reason why men do anything, though, isn't it?
Well, that's why I got into magic, to be fair. I was like, pick a card. Oh, yeah, do you want to write your name and number on that card? You know,
Drew did very well out of card games. I remember those days. That
was magic tricks, like
we'd be at nightclubs and he would just have like a crowd of women around him, and he'd be like, I could take my pick now, and he could.
I was like, pick a card, man. Any of those cards has got a girl's number and phone number.
It's like, have you seen that video? It's a wee guy. I don't know what it's on, but he's on YouTube. It's like he goes to the stag do, and he's like, if you haven't seen it, I'll send you it, because it's great. Yeah. Like, he comes on, and it's like it's a video, and he's like, I'm just back from the greatest weekend of my life and all that, and he's talking about like he's been at this thing. It's like his brother-in-law's stag do, and it's obvious. It's kind of like the Hangover thing, where it's like the sisters made him take him, and he's like how like they're on the train, and he's like they asked if we want a pint. He's like, yeah, I'll have two, please. Like lads, beer, and that, right? And he's just like so out of character, but then he's like, yeah, we got to talk to some girls, and he starts explaining like how like he's tried to like chat this girl up about talking to her about the football. And it's like I think it works, and it's like that's just like mental, like how like I don't know, it's just like throw 10 darts at a dartboard, you're going to hit something, aren't you? So it's like that's probably
definitely.
But it is that thing where it's, I think all points is, even like probably some of the best artists in the world, the reason they started writing is due to heartbreak, or due to like somebody's broke up with them, or
well, it's the majority of all songs.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic though, in a way, right? Because like I know when you're talking about poetry, like and it's ironic that it rhymes, but poetry is cheaper than therapy, right?
Oh yeah.
The idea that you can deal with some things going on in your life subconsciously or physically, and if you can turn it into fuel for your passion and your music, then it's amazing, because then you're turning something hardcore and painful into something wonderful and fun. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of figure
it is. It's like I don't know. I saw I don't know if you heard the 1975. Like it's quite a controversial band. I know a lot of people don't like them, and
I'm not a big fan. I think he's quite funny. Like, he's quite funny.
He is. He's quite a he's a character, but I really didn't like them for a while, because all my heroes and all the people that I like adore as artists had all been like, he's an idiot. Like the greatest. I don't think they're a rock band, right? I'll stand by that. I think they're like a power pop band, and
it's like a pop ballad. I haven't really heard many of the songs apart from maybe 2 or 3, but
and it's I think when you actually like, I went, I'm going to give in. I'm going to give this a go, and I really like dug into their stuff, and I was like, wow, there's like some really really nice tunes in here, and there's a song called "Be My Mistake," and when he played it live, I think there's like a live version of it, and he says the sort the song's not worth the experience. And I thought that was really cool because I'm like, well, every artist is like, oh yeah, like breakups like cause like this song, and it's like, oh, it's like they try and make it like a great thing out of this, where it's like, oh, I'm making hundreds of money because you dumped me. Whereas this guy's really looked at the realism of it and being like, I wish this experience never happened. Like, I've got a great song, but
I wish I had her.
Was it worth it? Yeah, exactly. Was it worth it? And like whatever his experience was, but I respected that because I was like, well, that's deep for something that you could just as easy go, I'm making like £2 million off this. Like, I don't need to say anything about this, but being like real with yourself. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I was just going to say a couple of things that's cool. I was going to say, have you heard of The Weeknd?
Yeah.
Because his stuff is really poetic. Like when you hear about like Blinded by the Lights and all these kind of like, his lyrics are so profound and really kind of quite psychological in a sense, and they go seriously deep.
Yeah.
But two films I was going to say you should watch if you haven't already is Inside Llewellyn Davis. I think you would love that, which is the Coen brothers one, which is really powerful about
Bob Dylan-esque.
Very kind of and it's with Oscar Isaacs. And then the other one I was going to say is Training Day, mate, to get a little bit of Denzel.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Training Day.
Oh, you've seen it, yeah? Okay, man, I was going to say.
Yeah, that movie.
Yeah, because that is an absolute masterclass in performance. Like Ethan Hawke and Denzel Washington toe to toe the whole way through, and it's just such a powerful.
Ethan Hawke is one of those actors where I'm like, I think he's so underappreciated because of like all the stuff he does. Like, I watched The Black Phone when it first came out, and I'm quite excited to see like the new one. And I just think like he can play anything, and he can be like the dad role, he can be like the family guy, or he can go and like be like a nutter. Like, he can do all these, like he's like the spectrum of what he can act is mental, and I love all that, like all the kind of roles he's played. And like, I always thought he'd be like great as like a Batman villain or something like all those like type of roles. And I just think he's amazing. And
yeah, he should be in bigger stuff, but I quite like the fact that he is like an indie actor. He's in lots of small films and being interesting rather than doing something too big that's gets seen by the masses, you know.
And then I think it's that thing as well where it's like Miles Teller is like done all these amazing roles, but he's never peaked. Like, he's never got to that point where everybody, he's like, and I personally think he should be the next superstar. I think he's
Whiplash. Whiplash. Whiplash and Birdman, two best films of 2016.
100%. Like, and he done Top Gun Maverick, and it was like, all right, okay, here we go. This is his career's going to skyrocket now.
Yeah, and he's stacked. He's stacked. Like, what's the other guy in it? The
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell. He's rocketed, and he hasn't.
And I think Glenn Powell's a great actor, and I think he's like he's amazing. And I think that he's another person that I'm like surprised, probably just for his career, but he's not played a superhero yet. And I'm like, well, I don't know why. Like, I think if they dyed his hair black, he'd probably play a pretty good Batman as well. But like, all these kind of actors, like, he's went like to this like huge role, and then you've got Miles Teller that's like he was in the new that Fantastic Four movie. It flopped, so he never got to do anything with that. And then he's done Top Gun, which apparently saved cinema, and still is just like he's on that.
Maybe it's his own trajectory as well. Maybe he's deliberately not accepting certain roles, and he only wants to do things, or he's a family man, or there could be like personal things as well.
He was in a TV series or a film called The Gorge that was on Apple TV that was supposed to be really, really good. That's the latest thing he's done.
It wasn't amazing, but it was good. It was.
He was great in it though. Like,
yeah,
I watched that one. It's about like the making of The Godfather. Is it the The Contract or something?
Yeah, on Prime, isn't it? I've put that on my list. I've not seen it. Is he in that? I can't remember.
He plays. I think he plays. I've not I've saw like clips and stuff. I've not seen the full thing. But I think he just plays like the writer of The Godfather, and he's like taking these scripts and all that, and that's when he explained to me like
he's playing Francis Ford Coppola.
The Offer.
Yeah. I think he plays Francis Ford Coppola, and
what?
It's like another huge role, and like, and again, it's just he never like got to that point, and I feel like right now, if you're not in like something to do with Disney or Netflix or like a big like blockbuster role. Like, it's just you've got no chance. Like, a lot of these A24 films, I'm glad for them because they're like coming up through the like they're kind of breaking the barrier now, and like a lot of these actors that you would never really got the chance are now getting like that are now winning Oscars, which I think's amazing.
But I feel like some of the best actors never get awards, and maybe it's actually an honor to not be awarded, because DiCaprio didn't get an award. Christian Bale hasn't won an Oscar from what I know. Robert Pattinson's amazing and hasn't won anything. Nominated, and you're like,
and Robert Pattinson started off as like that annoying, like boy band style sort of man, and now he's like doing gritty, disgusting, weird, interesting. I love it. Like
he's working with like some of the best directors. I call Robert Pattinson the British DiCaprio, in my opinion, because he works with some of the best people. He's really trying to hone his craft and really test himself, and he's amazing, man.
Yeah, 100%. I just think I've not seen that Mickey 17 yet. I don't know if it's out yet. I've not seen it. I wouldn't even see it. Like it looks,
it looks, enjoyed that.
So I just think that they've got him playing these roles now that are really like interesting and like good, like gritty.
The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse with him is brilliant.
That was like a love letter to neo noir films. Just like
I put off watching it for so long because it didn't look exciting, and within about 2 minutes I was gripped, and then it changed. The whole narrative changed halfway through. I was like, what? This wasn't on the trailer. What am I watching? And it just got better and better and weirder. Loved it.
For a media project, we had to like make a short film. I'll send you the one that I'd made. My teacher emailed me, or he's going to email me it soon.
That'd be great. That'd
be awesome, man. Can we send a link though? Because like it'd be nice as you as a guest to have one of your tracks and a link to your film.
I'll the demo tape's getting mastered right now, just so it can be played on like all forms of media. So that's kind of like getting done, and so once that's out, I'm getting like the cover art and stuff done hopefully by the same guy that's doing our t-shirts. So I'm going to do all that, and like once that's all done, I'll send that all over, and because we'll be promoting that anyway. Like
nobody's signed version.
I will like that. That's like what we're all excited about. We'll get like press CDs and all that, and like have like these wee demos that we're just basically going to go up to like, whatever gigs happening at that point and just hand them out to punters that are there.
It's the way to do it, man.
And although it's quite an old fashioned way to do it, because I know everybody right now is like, you need to get that TikTok video that gets 1 million views, and like that's surely like a star, but I don't really believe in that like ethos. That's not me. Like I want to make it in my music not because people are dancing to my song on a daft app. Like I want people to like understand my lyrics and stuff, and like I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're not making it that way, like you need all these followers, and we're kind of getting more followers and stuff now, like on social media, which has been really good. Like we got a video that was like, I put a song out that was just like an acoustic version of this new song I'd wrote, and I think it got 18,000 views on TikTok, which was cool. So, and like all these comments of people like loving the song, like I think there was maybe like 2 comments that were like, I don't even think they were hate comments. I think it was just folk were having a bad day. Like somebody put the guitar strings aren't moving, and I was like, that's because I'm not like thudding the guitar. I was just like, I've not got the time and effort to put a backing track over something where I've just like recorded.
That's more effort than learning and just doing it.
He's paying attention to the wrong thing. It's like, what about the song, dude? Like,
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why are you looking at the guitar strings? Like, just listen to the tune and tell me what you think. And there was like one guy saying that like, oh, you need to like stop doing the Oasis thing. It's been done to death. And I'm like, my song sounds nothing like Oasis. Like, so
they did. Plus, Oasis did a lot of things right. The early stuff is like wasn't musically amazing, but it's about the attitude, like people like that Liam Gallagher thing, but also the tracks are simple and catchy. They don't have to be intricate, and you know, if you want intricate music, listen to metal, like fast guitar playing, fast drumming. That is the epitome of the best music in the world, as far as I'm concerned. But if you want good songwriting and catchy stuff that is going to be for the masses, you want good hooks, simplicity, and something people can relate to. You know?
Yeah, I'm like quite a big like fan of like. I love the Doors. Like I've recently really got into the Doors, and I think that's because I'm such a like fan of like emotion filled music. So like obviously you've got like songs like Break Up at the other
There's the
side.
Val Kilmer link again.
Yeah, there's the Val Kilmer.
Like, I watched that movie and thought, well, this is going to be my personality for the next 3 months. You know, like just that.
It's a dangerous personality to inhabit.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not getting into that stuff. Going out to the desert and taking acid and all that. Nah, that's not a bit of me. But like I just love how, again, like how much like my music and my acting all intertwines into like the one, and and I think like movies like A Complete Unknown has really like helped me, because you do have I think as a musician you have a bit of like an identity crisis with being an actor and a musician at the same time. Obviously you've got people like Keanu Reeves that do it, but it's like I'm supposed
Jared
to be
Leto.
like, Jared Leto.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
It's like I'm supposed to be like this proper like rock and roll dude, but then you're going to go and like go on a stage and do like a play that's like very like the total opposite of what I'm doing on a stage when I play a gig. So there's like that bit in you when you like when I started my music, when I'm like, what am I doing? Like, what is this? Like, is this okay? And then I start like thinking, but I think it's just about adopting your own, and I think that's why I love like the Doors and like Liam Gallagher and all that, and because they just don't care. And I've definitely brought that on myself, because I'm like, if anybody's got to say it, and like bring it, because I'm doing what I'm doing, like, and
embrace it, man.
Yeah.
Like you're good at both things. You're great at both things, in fact, and you should follow both of that and not do the one that brings you the most success, because one might be the more successful, but you'll still enjoy doing the other one, whichever way it happens.
As an artist, mate, you can have so many strings to your bows, and that's actually the beauty of it. Because like a lot of artists are directors, writers, musicians and actors. It's like you can have a multitude, man.
I think if we get signed as well like that, I think the acting thing will like come in full force when we start making music videos and stuff, because like that's always been a dream of mine to like and when I was talking about the one that we're doing for Double Denim Ballerina, hopefully one day, is like I love all that like different like types of cinema and stuff, like getting put into like music, and I think a music video is just like film and music getting put together. And I've never like I'm not a fan of musical theatre. Like it's never been a bit of me. I think musicals are like, I don't know, they just kind of give me the ick. Like I'm proper like, it just doesn't do it for me. Whereas like proper screen acting or like on a play, like I went to see James McAvoy do Cyrano de Bergerac.
Oh yeah.
Like I watched that and I was like, and it was such a different. They took like a different turn to it. They kind of done that thing where it's like it was a bit of rapping in it as well, but it was like the phrases that they used were like was rapped, and I was like, this is like stunning, and how it was done was so good. And obviously being Scottish, like James McAvoy's like
he's like one of the pinnacles. Yeah.
So I saw him. I saw Peter Capaldi in the St Enoch Centre in Glasgow on Sunday, which was like I didn't go. He was with his family and that, but I saw him and I was like, I turned to my mate. I went, that's Doctor Who.
He was just walking around the shopping centre.
He was just with his family walking around, and had like he just had like his t-shirt on and like his blazer and stuff. And I was like, this is mental. And my mate,
you could swear at him. You could say anything to him, and he'd probably reply quite positively.
Oh yeah, he'd just be like sound. And my mate I was like, do we go and get a picture? And he was like, nah, he's with his family. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but obviously you just wait for your mate to pipe up and be like, yeah, let's go, and then we'll go and like get selfies and stuff. But
going to like music and stuff again, like doing like the TikTok thing. I understand why people think that brings in followers and likes and stuff like that, but I think for music you're going to get more responses being that support band for a slightly bigger band, and by word of mouth is how indie music will go. Yeah. If you're a pop band, that's a different conversation. Go on TikTok and make a hook. But you've been an actor in your own music videos, then that going on social media, because that's a visual thing. Because you could be the best singer in the world with a guitar, but it might not get looked at. But a video that looks cool with you acting, bit of singing, bit of acting, bit of singing, bit of acting, then it will look amazing.
But also the fact that you're coming up with creative concepts for the music video is dope as well. Like if you're either able to co-direct it or whatever, like it's so cool that you've got these visions for your music video and being in it. I think that's so cool, man. That's like, quite David Bowie-esque. I imagine. Like, imagine that David Bowie probably had a lot of direction in the way he wanted his videos to be, in that kind of profound kind of artistry and quite out there.
Billie Eilish literally writes visuals. She sees the visuals before she writes the song, so she knows the music video before she's finished the lyrics.
And
she's
I think
a visual person.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I've never been a big fan of Billie Eilish just because it's just not my type of music. But I think another person that like that type of group of people like Bowie and Billie Eilish, and I think like Prince done Purple Rain as like a film and an album. Like even you had Pink Floyd do The Wall and stuff. But I love Prince as like just an artist as well. And I saw the video where it was like a George Harrison memorial thing, and it was like 2 days before the Sun were like slating Prince, and he was like a rubbish guitar player, and he came on and like played this like the greatest guitar solo anyone's ever heard. Like he fell back onto the audience were like pushing him up, and he's like ripping the guitar, and I'm like, oh, that's like the coolest guy that's walked this planet. Like just all that kind of stuff is so like it just shows like no matter like what people say, whatever, people will just still express themselves in their art, like no matter whatever way they want to do it. And I think that's definitely for like any upcoming artist, actor, like poet, musician, they just need to like embrace it and go for it. Like, and I'm saying this being like I've not made it yet or anything like that, but it's just like tricks of the trade that you learn like throughout.
And you got to believe it, and things will happen, man.
But 100%. I think it's also that thing of you don't. It's like, what's that famous saying? Like a lion doesn't. It doesn't need the opinion of the sheep, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a kind of perfect example, especially with artists that you don't need to be gaining people's affirmation. Like if someone doesn't like your art, it doesn't make your art any better or any worse. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, because Stephen King said something like that. He's like, if people read one of my books and they thought it was shit, he's like, I don't care because my book is still really good. It doesn't matter. It's like, not in an egotistical way. It's like he knows how much effort and time he spent building those arcs for characters and creating this world. If someone's like, that's a bit crap, you're like, well, you just got no understanding, mate. Like a lot of people don't understand what goes into making a song, making a video.
It's all opinions, man, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
And there's an audience for everything. Even if you're shit, someone else will still like that piece of shit. But if you're good, there's going to be more people that will like it, hopefully.
100%.
You can be shit or you can be the shit. So
there you go. It's like, I think one of the people that you can definitely tell has got that's like Chris Eubank. Like I see videos of him popping up all the time, and he's like, I'm trying to think what was the last one I saw, but it's like
he's almost so positive he's deluded.
Oh, I know. It's like he's got that like that's one of the baddest man on the planet, and he's got that like that voice like Mike Tyson. Like Mike Tyson, he's like, when I fought Larry Holmes and all that, and it's like that guy can kill you with his bare hands, like.
Yeah, if you're a blind man and Mike Tyson threatened you, you'd be like, oh yeah, come on, man.
So, what's that? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna whoop your ass, white boy, and all this. Like, so it's just not scary at all. And then like
Chris Eubank's the worst and just like so posh and stuff.
Oh no, I know it's like that.
It's vicious as well.
It goes into that like Jamaican accent. It's like that. You better watch your dreadlocks. Could be a come for you. And he's like, I slipped into my mother's tongue there. No, that's like, where's this guy? It's like this guy was actually like putting people in wheelchairs like 10 years ago, and now he's like just a normal like dude. It's
messing about.
It just shows you like no matter who you are, like if you're into something and you're good at it, like you're gonna be good at it. And that's it.
That's the attitude to keep. I don't know about you, Drew, but I don't feel like I've been chatting to a 17-year-old. I feel like I've been chatting to like.
I'm starting to think like the more young people, and I don't mean that in a condescending way. You guys have your head screwed on so much. You are so wise for your years, and I
don't think that's true of all kids.
No, but the only reason I say that is a couple of people at my work that are like 20 or 23. They are so sound in mind, and some of the things they're talking about, and they're not like when I was 20, I was just like running around doing loads of crazy things. I wasn't grounded at all in any sense.
We were just getting drunk as much as possible during work as well.
Yeah, we were doing not obscene things, but like just kind of every day was party. We didn't take life seriously. Like you said, on our lunch break, Kevin and I went back to my apartment and had martinis, like whatever the hell that is, Martini Bianco. Then we go back and try and sell a tumble dryer to somebody, and we're like, "What are we doing, man?"
We get like Canastella from the off license at the other side of where we worked as well, and have that at the back as well.
Yeah, what about your lunch break with a white vest on, a canister? Oh, no.
Well, I used to try and go into like alcohol shops, and because I was the hairiest out of the lot of us, I'd take my t-shirt off. Obviously, this only worked in the summer. 14. This only worked in the summer. I had really hairy armpits. I'd borrow somebody's keys, and I'd like scratch the back of my head, and I'd be like, "Yeah, could I get a packet of Benson Hedges, mate, and a bottle of vodka?" It's like, oh, the kids are killing me these days. Put my keys down as though I'm pretending I've got a car, and ironically, I used acting to get served when I was under the age. You know what I mean? And it worked. It worked. But yeah.
But we watched so many films. Like I thought I was a film expert at 15, you know, because I'd so many films and watched so many stuff. But I don't think I could speak to them as eloquently as you have today.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know
100%.
your shit.
Actually, it's like all I really do. Like, see, because I'm passionate about something, it's like although I love like all the serious films, like I love like comedy movies like Superbad and all that, because again they're like relatable. So I think that's just like my passion, because I've grew up watching like these films, like and I think when you grow up you're kind of still trying to find yourself, and I still am. Like, I'm 17, even though I've got my band and stuff, and that's kind of became my thing, and like there still is that sense of like you don't, like, even like friends and stuff, like they're coming and going right now, and it's like, oh, what's going on? Everybody's going to uni and college and all these different things, and the only like 4 people I know I've like got right now, or like 5, like the 4 people I know that are like, apart from like my girlfriend and stuff, who are there, that have like, I know like my pals is my band, and we've got my mate Matthew, who's like who got me into Kneecap and stuff. He like we've started being like, obviously being there as the band and in the green room's great, but like why do we not like bring like our other mates in and stuff? So like my mate Matthew, he's like coming to help us out. We're doing this big gig at a place called St Luke's, which is like it's basically like round the corner for the Barrowlands, and it's an 800 cap venue, so it's 800 people will be there on the night, hopefully. I think it's like I don't know how many tickets are sold out, but like I think it's selling quite well. So we're playing that, and it's like he's come to help us. So it's like we're creating this wee community in my band. I think my girlfriend's doing like a lot of videographer stuff, but I think that's mostly because I watched Daisy Jones and the Six like a few weeks back, and
I love that program.
it's so good. And like I saw,
that looked terrible, and I just thought I'd put it on for a little bit, and then I got hooked.
Such a stunning TV show, and I love Fleetwood Mac, so it was like the correlation between that. I was
and she's what the niece or whatever niece of Elvis or whatever.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was like, yeah, I need to watch this, and it was my girlfriend that said like, oh, it's really good. You should give it a watch, and if you love music, and I was like, I kind of like yourself. I was like, oh, I don't know, this looks a bit like Flower.
Yeah,
like,
it looked a bit weak. It looked like Almost Famous, but not good. But Almost Famous is amazing.
Just a stunning.
And like, if you go to music films like High Fidelity, stuff like that, where people get obsessed about music.
I like another movie that's kind of like with me, like starting a band and stuff, like watching these films, like Almost Famous. I watched Almost Famous because I saw like a few like reviews about it on like Letterboxd and stuff, and I was like, I've not seen this yet, and I put it on, and like we just watched it in a winner, and I was like, wow, like this is just it was great to see, like to have like the guy from that was in like Big Fish and stuff like that. I saw he was in it, and then like all these like big art, like Kate Hudson and all that were in it. I was like,
well, that's it. You're watching these films late, so you don't realise how how big they got after. Yeah,
brilliant series. Yeah, that's so good.
The Dirt is another great one.
I think having Machine Gun Kelly play Tommy Lee was like, I remember like before I watched that, I was like, come on, man, he's like, and obviously I saw the stuff with Machine Gun Kelly, and like, I love the UFC, and like for a while I was quite a big Conor McGregor fan, and then how he would like he squared up to Conor McGregor, and I was like, what an absolute like idiot, like, who is this guy? And I watched that, and I was like, oh, well, fair play.
He was good in The Dirt. I think that was the first time I saw him.
Kelly was getting in like debates with Eminem. Like I think he just liked drama. I think
so. And to be fair, it's probably like bettered his career because it puts his name out there. And I loved Eminem, so I was like, oh man, who's this guy? Like,
it was good marketing.
8 Mile.
Oh, what a movie! Yeah.
That's a movie.
Anyway, we should wrap up because we've taken quite a lot of your time up.
Yeah, that's what is
it. I feel like we could talk for ages.
I feel like this is part one though. This should be like part one with Jude. I feel like
Yeah,
no worries, yeah.
And I genuinely like put like I said, I like metal. So all my mates like metal that are around here that I go and see gigs with. So I'm always in London or Manchester seeing metal gigs. And every time I see like a band that's not metal, like Ocean Colour Scene or Paul Weller or whatever,
Funny.
I go on my own.
So
So
yeah.
Next time Paul Weller comes, which I'm sure will be fairly soon, he's got a new album coming out. I'll book a ticket for Glasgow and I'll come with you.
A funny story just before we wrap up, because you mentioned Ocean Colour Scene there. The guitar I play in the band, it's an Epiphone Casino. It's like a blue worn denim one, and like you don't really see them much. I actually bought it from the bass player of Ocean Colour Scene.
You what?
Yeah. So Ray Mead, who plays the bass for Ocean Colour Scene, had like put like a guitar up for sale, and my dad sent me. He's like, "Oh, Ray Mead's selling this guitar. Do you like it?" And I was like, and like the John Lennon who played like the Epiphone Casinos, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Oh, Ray Mead's the bass player for Ocean Colour Scene." And he was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Right, okay, so you've to go and like pick it up at his house." And I was like, "All right, okay." So we went up and like, I like met him and all that, and I was like talking to him, and like he loves his like Adidas stuff and all that, and I went up with like Adidas Specials jackets on and stuff, and we were just talking away to him, and he was like one of the most like lovely guys I've ever met. Like I really sound dude, and ever since like I've met him, I've like when I've done tunes and put them on Instagram, I've sent them him, and he's like always gave me feedback and stuff, and like it's just been really helpful. And
we can get better seats for you and Kev then.
Mate, that's all connected because obviously you know Steve Craddock from Ocean Colour Scene, who also writes for Paul Weller as well. So,
that's just great. Everything, and I think that's been the great thing about like the music stuff, because I've met so many cool people, and like all these people are like such like in like the scene. You meet some younger people that are like what we're gigging with, and you can be like sometimes like you're just like you're playing covers, mate, but you can't have that ego. Like you're not even writing your own tunes. Like give it a buy, and they'll think they're Liam Gallagher, but they're doing it in the most like they're trying to be Liam Gallagher like times a million. So it just doesn't work. It's
just route one,
just pure rude people.
Yeah.
Whereas like you'll meet a lot of the older ones that have lived and have like I've like right now when we're at the gigs, I do have the ego, and I think if you don't, you're not going to make it as a rock star.
Stage presence is a lot, yeah.
These people who are not like older people, but they're older than me and they've like been in the business. You meet these people and it's like you see how like humble they are, and it's like, well, you know, they've done it, and they you know, they've like came through it, and you see what they're like, and that's why I aspire to be like a lot of these people, because I'm sure they'll have horror stories for like back in the day when they were doing it, and like a few of them I've been told and stuff by certain people, and I'm like, well, like if they can come through that, and like they're just like the most cracking, like down to earth people that you'll meet, and again, like no filters, just as most artists are, and like some of my favourite people to like be around, even though like, I don't get to be around them that much. Like when I am around them, I'm like I just savour every moment. Like
quality musicians are good fun to be around.
Like,
sure.
Like,
tell you what, if next time we got a gig, you need to drop your mate a message and say, "Oh, by the way, I'm coming to the gig. See if he offers you anything on the." It's all about networking, man.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
you could be average, but if you network with everyone, that's how you get places.
Yeah.
And you've actually got talent, so you might that might help.
Mate, that will definitely leverage your career, man, for sure. Yeah. The people you know, and they'll respect you and your journey as well. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I think as well, it's just that thing where it's like I've talked about him like quite a lot when we've done this, but Kyle Faulkner was like I took so much inspiration from him, and like I'm going over to like this camp and stuff, and I've been over and I've wrote a song with him, and it was like we played these songs. It's called Back's the Words of Song, and we've played it at the gigs, and it's like a good song. But I think just being when we were like in the green room with him, and we're like just like playing tunes on the guitar with him and that, and it's like the band's there, and like two of the boys in my band, like coming up through school, like David I've known, like me and David and like Jamie as well, who's the drummer. We've been friends since we were like wee boys. Not mean like kind of like both of them have been my pals, but they've not met each other. And then we met Kyle at the back of music class, like just playing a bass, and I was like, "Do you want to come and like be in my band?" Because we couldn't find a bass player. And he was like, "Yeah, no worries." And like both of the boys like coming up through school, David always like used to get a bit of bother, or like Kyle was getting a bit of like shit off people and that as well. And even me sometimes I get it, and it would just be that thing where it's like now like, we've kind of got this like wee group and like we're together, and none of us were ever like I'm kind of a social butterfly, so I hang about with everybody, and like everybody's kind of my pal. But with them, they're a bit more introverted in that, which is good for them, because I think if they weren't, they wouldn't be like as good as they are. Because David is like one of the greatest guitarists I've ever seen. Like he does, I think there's a thing Jimmy Page used to do where he plays triplets, where he'd like hold the guitar at the bottom, or like, and he'd drop the guitar and play triplets up it. And David came into the rehearsal room the other day and like that. It was like maybe 2 months ago, and he goes, "I can do this." And I don't know if it was just me that was there or whatever, and he like grabs the guitar and, goes, diddle, diddle, and like drops it and catches it at the top, and I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant! Like, you need to do it at the gigs and stuff." And like these boys are like,
get a bit of showmanship going.
oh,
Yeah.
100%. And like from like where I knew these boys were before we like started the band to like now, even in just confidence levels, and like it was so great when like we had Kyle in the room and all that, and he was just talking to them like he would talk to any musician, and it was like, wow, like that. And although a lot of people like will know the View because they're big in Scotland, and it's like this kind of like Scottish cult thing, and like England as well, because he was doing stuff with Mark Ronson, not that like when he was like when they were like quite big. Like a lot of like people go, "Oh, who's the View?" And like for me to have that, it'd be like that. So I don't know if you heard the song "Same Jeans."
I don't know the songs, but I'm not very good with song titles anyway. But I've
Yeah.
heard of The View, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
weird because that's not my kind of thing
Mhm.
normally. But I've heard of them.
And it's that was like my hero, and just like talking to him now and like kind of having like I don't see him like that much. Like it's not like I'm like best pals with him, but when I do, I'm like, all right, this guy's like class, and he's always like telling us like different things about like back in the day when like they were touring with The View and stuff. And I've also a guy called Brown Bear, who's like Matthew Hickman, who I done a short. I met Matt on like the set of he was directing a short film, and I got cast in that, and that's kind of how all the stuff came about with like Matt. And then from Matt, he was like Kyle's tour manager, so then it like progressed into me meeting Kyle, and it was just
That networking, man.
Synchronicity, though, isn't it? Like the stars align, man. It's like
you just need to keep that up, man. Yeah.
It doesn't matter how small your group of friends get, because my dad said something beautiful, that you only ever need one hand. Friends on one hand is true friends. Everything else is just spectacle. Because interestingly, Kev and James, how this whole podcast really came about is the fact that we just met. It's like literally about making friends. Like Kevin and I met, I think, through Curry's, and then we met James through Curry's. And who would have thought that three like staff members essentially would become best mates and go on to doing a podcast? But it's like,
that's when we're like 16, 17, something like that.
So friendship is real, man. The bond and the vibe really does attract your tribe. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And I think it's that thing as well. Like we're all best mates, but like me and Jamie especially have had like some like belters arguments, and me and David when we were like growing up used to fight all the time. Like it was like, and I think you never really know someone until you've took a throat jab off them or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like it is that thing where it's like we've like really had like some like proper like fights. Like we've like ended up, it's been like there has been like arguments where it's like, oh my god, like if from like an outside perspective, it's like, you'd be like, and especially when the band was starting, we were doing like 7-hour rehearsals like during the day, like and we were with each other in like a small room for 7 hours, like trying to like
bang snap at one point.
And like
a couple of my best friends I've almost put in hospital. So
you're like, and it gets that, and it's just tiredness, and like you're working, and we've all had like our fair share of bad arguments. And
we've never fought, Drew. That's never happened.
No, I don't think so. No, it's all been love, man. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
You're too pleasant. I couldn't even attempt to hurt you. But I've got other friends who I love to, like James. I'd love to batter.
It's just that high as well. It's like when they do give you a bit of cheeky, when you're like, I think it's just that with us now as a band, like when we brought Kyle in, we didn't really know Kyle that well, and now it's like a proper brotherhood thing. But it's like, and just with a few things that have happened over the last few weeks, there's been like things of like loyalty between pals and stuff with like them and like me, and I'm like, I know within those like 4 boys like that, I'm not like I don't need to worry about if something were to happen for nobody to have my back, because I'm like, I've got them, and that's all like I need. And as you were saying, like hand group of pals, like
that's it.
That's what you need. And yeah, it's good. But that's like a good way to end it. That's probably like a light-hearted.
It's a beautiful way to end. With love and friendship after you've had massive brawls. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Jude.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it was amazing.
And say hi to your mum for me.
I'll do. Yeah.
Does she know you're on here?
Yeah, and I told her I was actually down rehearsing with the band tonight, and because we usually do like a 7 till 9, and I was like, boys, I've got like a thing to do. I'm going on a podcast, and they were like, what? And I was like, no, I'm going on a podcast tonight, and they were like, what for? And I was like, oh, it's my cousin does like this like film podcast, and I showed them like a few things. Like, all right, cool. I was like, I'll plug the band. Don't worry, I'll plug this. It looks like, you know that. And,
well, you've successfully done that.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, yeah. We'll catch you soon, and we'll definitely go to a gig together. That's going to happen.
Yeah,
because Glasgow's not that far, and I do want to go up and see you and Michael and stuff again. Yes. So yeah, I'll see you soon anyway.
Send me links as well to music, mate. Love to hear
I'll do. Yeah.
I'll share the music when your episode goes out. We'll share the music clips and stuff as well.
Thank you. Cheers. No worries. Thank you for having me on. Cheers.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you had a whale of a time.
Oh, wait! Just before you head off to listen to another one of our episodes, I'm not going to ask you to give us a follow and a 5-star review or follow our social media such as Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, although that is your choice. But we would like to tell you about a new website we have called ragewhale.tmill.com, where you can get some merchandise to support us. Hoodies, t-shirts and mugs. There is a link here and on our social media profiles. Thank you so much for listening again. See you next time.